Hello and welcome to the Futro Hidden Movie Gems podcast. I'm your host, Ty Spiker Christensen. You need to stay inside and not intimidate the mailman. We've got Jordan Christensen.
Hola. I don't have a quote.
Hola. Is there a quote?
Guess there's a lot of Mexicans in this movie. Is that why you said hola?
Oh, yeah. Quinceañera and this quinceañera. I'm going to get my coffee. Shut up. You freaking like coffee.
And we've got Cameron Mickle on the pod.
Get the freak out of here. There's a drunk man outside the liquor store.
Drunk man outside the liquor store. Guys, today we are discussing End of Watch. That made no sense. End of Watch. Don't know why the accent. We've got... dang it, I'm pulling it up right now on IMDb. I'm a little slow moving here, guys.
Want me to help you?
Thank you for your patience. I'm actually in my head right now. I'm just running through that amazing comment left last week. Jordan, who was the commenter?
Thanks for showing me this.
It said, thanks for pointing me to the gem, the Matrix. Yes, listener, yes. Those comments fuel me. I love it. We've had this conversation many times. You may not know this special listener. We're like, I don't know, hidden movie gems. These are gems that we like. Are they hidden? Maybe not so hidden. Maybe popular movies are gems, but just because they're popular doesn't mean that you probably heard about them, but it doesn't mean that they're not gems. Huh? It's a hidden gem in a popular movie, right? I'm trying to defend our title of our podcast to a commenter.
Whatever, you're always attacking our title. I don't care. It's a name. Like, it's just easier for people to find. If you want, we can call ourselves Futro Gems.
We were going to be called the Golden Nugget Boys, so how do you like that, listener? Okay. The Golden Nugget Boys. So that was...
well, the idea is, when you're sifting... I just had watched Ballad of Buster Scruggs, and, when he's sifting through through the dirt, and he finds his little nuggets.
Gold nuggets.
I can feel it, man.
Feel it. Dude, what is that? Surf's Up? Oh, my gosh.
Up. That surf's up, yeah. It's a chicken.
Oh, my gosh. It's so funny that we quote movies nonstop. Guys, this movie, okay, let's get into it. End of Watch came out in 2012. It was shot documentary style, directed by, here he comes. Here's our internet.
David
Ayer. Is that his name?
Yeah, or Ayer. I'm not sure how you pronounce it.
Oh, it was directed? I thought this was a documentary.
You're telling me Jake Gyllenhaal isn't actually...
Dude, David Ayer, though, he did the Suicide... Well, he wrote the Suicide Squad. What else did he direct?
Training Day.
Yeah, dude, Training Day. That's the other movie that kind of reminds me of. He also did Bright, that Will Smith bomb,
Yeah, that sucked.
He did Fury, which you love. I know you love.
Yeah, Fury's a masterpiece.
Fury.
Wait, the guy that did Training Day did this? No.
Yes.
He maybe produced it.
Yes.
Yeah, I don't see Training Day as his directing.
Cameron, he did not.
Okay, well,
direct
maybe
Training Day,
he
but
wrote it.
Produced
He wrote it.
Or wrote it, yeah. Which is interesting, because if he wrote it, there's a lot.
Cheap.
Cheap.
Yeah, I see Training Day. He wrote Training Day. And he wrote The Fast and the Furious screenplay, I guess. So that's cool that he wrote Training Day, because then I think of End of Watch and I'm like, I almost feel like he loves that world. David Ayer is like very much in tune with the Boys in Blue. I just like that. I don't know. I just find it interesting. Holy crap, guys. This movie's muy heavy, you might say. Stars Jake Gyllenhaal, Cameron's Michael Peña, Anna Kendrick, America Ferrera. Oh, cool. Her name is America Ferrera. That's awesome.
It's kind of dope.
And
America!
Did you catch the conversation, Ty? That he's like,
awesome parents.
like, he's like, you got to tell me when you're joking. Are you joking? And
I can't tell when you're joking.
And that was totally thinking of Cameron. I was like, oh, that's totally Cameron thinking about Jake.
That's right.
You got to tell me when you're joking. I'm not joking.
Natalie Martinez. It's got David Harbour. You recognize him from Stranger Things?
Yeah, the knife in the eye.
You recognize him?
Oh, that disturbs
Frank
me.
Grillo. Oh, I know.
Oh, yeah, that's way too real.
Yeah, there's well, no, I'll tell you the hardest hitting moments for me. And it's not what you think it is, but wait, maybe you do. So let's get into it. What was it like watching this movie for the first time and rewatching it for the podcast? Let's start with you, Cam.
Okay, I was so pleasantly surprised with this movie, watching it on the first time, because it was just on my Jake Gyllenhaal binge, and I'm like, oh, it's got Michael Peña and Jake Gyllenhaal. Like, maybe it'll be like, I thought it was gonna be more like comedic and funny. But boy, was I wrong and right. But yeah, first time watched with all my roommates, and at the end of it, one of my roommates was like, that was the best movie I've ever seen in my life. And then we all were just talking about it because it was kind of right after that time of like the rioting about the police and stuff like that. And it was just kind of crazy. We were just like, man, we grew like a bigger appreciation for like what they go through and shiz. And so I thought that was really cool. And then rewatching it for the pod, I was kind of a little nervous because I'm like, I know it was an amazing first watch, but I was surprised at how many things I forgot. Like spoiler, I knew one of them died, but I was trying to remember going into it. I was like, wait, because they like alluded as that he would die, because he's like, if you died, I'd take care of your kids. And I was like, oh, Michael Peña's gonna die. And then but then Jake Gyllenhaal dying, I'm like, oh my gosh, Jake Gyllenhaal's gonna die. And then Michael Peña just gets obliterated. But super.
God, sorry, obliterated.
He did.
Getting shot up, dude. It's so sad.
But yeah, just as amazing on the second watch. I think it's so beautiful and like super well done. And I feel like I appreciate all the effort they put into making this movie.
Right on. Jordan, how about you? First time you watched it and rewatching it for the pod?
Yeah, first time I just walked away with
Hey, we watched it together our first time. Don't forget.
I think that might have been my second time because...
How dare you? We watched it together for the first time.
Well, maybe I did. I just remember thinking, oh man, this is the most depressing thing ever.
So bleak.
But yeah, I do remember renting it also with you, and that we watched it on that, they called it Blue Box in
Idaho.
In Idaho, and they edit, it's like Redbox except they edit the movies, and so you don't really couldn't hear like half the movie because there's so many swear words.
It went quiet a lot at the time.
Yeah,
it sounded like our CD, our movie was like skipping a track if you're listening to a song or something. If you're like, oh man.
Yeah, I'm surprised this didn't break a record for most swears, but
well, it's 10th all time.
I'm surprised it. Well, it is 10th. That's some kind of record. Yeah, it's got. They didn't pull their punches.
There was just two parts that stuck in my head so much that I was like, I just felt icky afterwards. Is that the fact that it ended so depressingly, and also just every time they spent any time with the criminals, I just felt gross. I'm like, I need a shower, because they were just sleazy people. There was like nothing redeemable about them, and I just was like so happy when they finally died. But
how about their elation when they killed Michael Peña? They were so happy there. You felt the emotion. I was reading the comments of like a YouTube video of the ending, and it was so funny. One of them was like, I can't, like, it's the ending is super bleak, don't get me wrong, but I can't help but have a smirk on my face when the bad guys get there. So I'm like, oh my god, it's like dark people on the internet. I don't know why that's so terrifying. Being like, yeah, good. Like, scares me. People on the internet, dude. YouTube comment section is just, if you want to see what humanity is all about, that's where we're at, folks.
And then Jordan, what was it like rewatching?
Yeah.
Loved it. Actually, this time I absolutely loved it. I'm like, oh wow, I bumped it up from like a 6 to an 8. And then I rewatched the ending again because I was like, I wanted to watch those guys die a second time. And then I bumped it back down to 7.
That was Jordan's comment on YouTube, by the way. It's like, yeah, shoot.
But Jake Gyllenhaal's performance with, is it
Michael
Peña?
Peña.
Yeah.
It's pronounced Peña.
Peña.
Do the Peña. It's Peña. Peña. Yeah. Wait, sorry.
Their relationship together is amazing. It's like a buddy cop movie, except less.
Yeah, except the word
campy.
buddy is like way too. Yeah, that buddy makes it sound like this is a buddy cop movie. This is like, what's another word for buddy? Like companion to the death movie.
This reminds me a lot, Ty, of Sicario. Like, I had forgotten about the whole. Cameron said he forgot stuff. I forgot about the cartel situation. Like, I knew about that gang, and I knew they had like essentially killed each other, but I forgot they had essentially stepped into territory of the cartel, and then that's when they got hits on them. Like, just, that's just... And seeing Hooper, how do you say his name?
Hopper.
Stranger Things.
Yeah, Stranger Things Hopper. I mean, has he transcended that role? I guess he did something in Black Widow. I can't remember his name in that one. Van Houser, I think, was his name in this movie, so... David Harbour. Which is funny, because isn't his name like David Hopper or something? Or they just call him Hopper or Harper, I can't remember.
It's David Harbour.
Well, that's his name, but what I'm saying, in Stranger Things, isn't his name like Hopper? So it's like...
They call him Hopper.
I know, but isn't his name David Hopper? I'm just saying it's so dang similar to his real name. I don't know. Maybe that works. Like, if I was an actor and they just called me like Tyler or something, like, it'd be like, oh, yeah, like, it's nearly my own real name.
It would not
then,
surprise me at all if he was like an actual cop, and then Jake Gyllenhaal's like, hey, I'm making a video, and like... and like, literally everything we see here is just real up until the death.
This documentary. Yeah, he's a bit of a method actor. He probably went through the police academy, you know.
Yeah, that would not surprise me if he at least saw how they... Because, I mean, I watched...
Who, Jake Gyllenhaal?
Yeah, I've watched hours of Cops.
No,
and
yeah, they did.
This is like exactly.
He's
Yeah,
like,
they
to
worked
prepare
with-
for this role, I watched 18 seasons of Cops.
No,
That's all you need to-
they did over 50.
They went on a ride along.
Yeah, they went on over 50 ride-alongs and like over 4 months. And on Jake Gyllenhaal's first, they spent 5 months doing 12-hour ride-alongs with LAPD officers. And during Jake Gyllenhaal's first ride-along, he witnessed a murder.
Nice.
Jeez.
That's awesome.
He was probably the one who did it too. Give me the gun.
Yeah, we all know Hollywood actors are just itching with those trigger fingers. Looking at you, Alec Baldwin.
Whatever. I don't blame him. I blame whoever gave him the gun. Like, seriously.
Okay, we don't need to get into this.
I don't know why people are even blaming him.
Okay, Ty.
We do, because it's so funny. Guys, never
Right.
forget, Alec Baldwin has killed more people than the next strain of COVID. Okay, all right, Alec
Hi,
Baldwin. And now I know why they're pushing for more gun control. They're like, spare us all these lawsuits. We've been killing everybody up here with prop guns. They're pretty resourceful, I gotta say. So, the first time I watched this movie, I gotta say, blows my mind because I was like, wow, this is like a Greek tragedy. How could you kill off everybody in this movie that you care about? And then I was like, is this just one of those sad movies for the sake of being sad? I don't know. I watched like what happened last summer, the Summer of Love, as they called it, where there's like $4 billion worth of property damage. A lot of cities are burning, including mine, Madison. And it's pretty horrifying. You know, and I have a lot of respect for the boys in blue.
I thought you were about to lead up to something, and I was there in the riots.
and I was there throwing the first Molotov cocktail, allegedly.
I'm just thinking of Frank from Always Sunny in Philadelphia, like stealing with the people.
I was on Epstein Island, but only for the snorkeling. Okay, so I was there. So anyway,
Oh, you seen the new season?
I have not yet.
What?
I cannot wait to watch it.
I thought that was from the new season.
It is.
Oh.
It is a joke from the new season. It's just a trailer that I saw.
Oh.
I was on Epstein Island. Oh my gosh, but only for the snorkeling.
What the heck? You were the one like texting me every day at like, oh, it's coming out soon. It's coming out soon. So I bought it, and then
Is the whole season ready to watch?
I don't know.
Yeah, so I'll subscribe, binge watch it.
Not
the whole
subscribe.
thing.
I own it.
You bought it on
I
Apple?
bought it. I
Why
texted
couldn't
you
I
like
see it?
a billion times.
I remember looking it up and I didn't see it on the
I own it.
Apple.
Well, the day it came out, it wasn't available. It was the very next day.
Well, there you go. And I was busy watching Spider-Man in the theater, which was amazing. So, everybody go see No Way Home. It's an amazing movie. Rewatching it. Oh my gosh, I'm such a sucker. I hear movie critics say like, oh, it's such a cheap ploy to say like, oh, he's a father, therefore he cares for his daughter. Like, I'm like, yeah, like it isn't cheap. Do any of these movie critics have children? If a freaking, traffickers try to take my daughter, I'd freaking try to get her back and kill everyone that got in my way or die trying. Probably die trying by the first person I met.
You keep bringing up Taken, but this is not that.
No, but like, okay, so this movie, though, there is a scene in which some children are in a compromised place where they're locked in the closet, duct taped. I bawled my eyes out. I was a wreck. I don't know why. It just is so heartbreaking. And those children actors are pretty dang good, probably because they're really crying. But on top of that, like, being locked in by their tweaker parents, I'm just like, man, some kids are going to have it so rough in life, and it just breaks my heart. So.
Well, I know. I just think of Heat when he's like, you really want me to tell you about when some parent...
A man who puts his baby in a microwave, huh?
Yeah.
Because he can't stand the screaming or whatever. Yeah. And I'm like, that's more disturbing than anything happens in this movie. I still think that's funny. It's just so funny that he gave that as an example. I'm like, that's pretty dark, but can you top that? It's like, yeah, I mean, this one gets near it. At end of watch, you have some parents that are tweaking and they're freaking
Well, anything near the cartel is just like, ew. Like, you watch Sicario
just
and you
devastating. Yeah. It's just devastating. And, it's cutthroat, literally. And
Yeah, it's inhuman, dude.
Yeah,
Yes.
it's so devastating.
The
So
way they treat people is just so inhumane and it's just disgusting.
yeah, as a commodity, a property, it's just so sad.
Putting them in like the walls and stuff.
Yeah, so there was some really rough stuff, and I was desensitized to it the first time I watched it because I remember thinking I was saddened by their deaths, but that was it. And now I'm like, I'm saddened by crime. I guess I'm becoming a softie, but I'm like, man, the world's such a terrible place. Thank you, Boys in Blue, for trying to keep us safe, and I can't imagine what you must be going through, and to think to cut their funding is somehow going to make everything better. Anyway, that's a discussion for another day. But I have a lot of respect for the boys in blue. I do not envy your job, nor do I think I could emotionally, physically
handle it
and mentally handle, and undertake such a task.
Yeah, holy shiz.
Of just dealing with people that constantly are lying to you, that are yelling at you.
No, that's what
shouting
scares
obscenities,
me. And it's
threatening
funny
you.
I actually talked to Harry about this
devastating.
because I think his brother-in-law or something like that is a cop in Spanish and whatever, somewhere in Utah in like a really ghetto area, and he says that like the only like you have to swear at people.
Wait, Utah has ghetto areas? The land of Mormons?
And he talked about how he like you have to swear at them, otherwise like they won't respect you and like or like take you as like controlling and like commanding, and like just talking about like
Sorry. I just love the idea of a cop being like, sit your behind down, set it down right now, sir.
Yeah, no, like I was thinking about
I'm going to be very, very ticked off. Yeah, I get it. Or shut your mouth, please, sir. Sir, you need to stop talking right now, please.
Like
Put down the gun, please.
The way the way they have to talk is shut the F up or I'll put a bullet in your head. And it's like, because that's the only way that these guys like talk to each other. And yeah, like just the way they communicate, but it's insane.
Cameron, that's what separates us from the criminals. Okay? We don't need to turn into animals. I'm kidding, Cameron. It's crazy. No, I have friends that, I had one friend that's in like the Canadian military, and he's got a pretty foul mouth. And I'm like, any day now, like, so we made a joke. It's like, every time you swear, you got to pay us a nickel or a dime. And I'm like up to $2,000. So it's going great. Don't know if he's ever going to make good on that promise. But, just as like, look, the people you surround yourself with, you kind of take on their personality. And they're surrounding themselves with the worst of the worst. Like, every one of these people that they met with the lying, the terrible thing. I mean, like, Jake Gyllenhaal's reaction when he finds the kids and, like, throws the guy down. You're like, okay, like, you got to be careful, Jake. Like, this is no vigilante justice time. But you're like, I totally get the emotion and the rage.
I love it because they don't show you the kids. The innocent. You're like, whoa, he's totally overreacting. And
he's over the line.
Oh, dang.
Yeah, which reminds me of like the world and day and age we live in, which is interesting that this was shot kind of documentary style. Like last summer, it was about people, onlookers, watching cops interact with civilians that were, unbeknownst to us, actually, had warrants out for their arrest. Like, I'm looking at Jacob Blake. You had people like George Floyd who, was in the act of committing a crime. And they're like, oh, I didn't know any of this context. Obviously, does it change the outcome? No, I mean, everything still happens. But when you only get a little glimpse of what's happening, you're always like, man, that would suck. Like, why does that person have to get tackled by the police? And then you're like, oh, well, now I understand he was trying. Like, I feel like there's natural etiquette. Just do what the cops tell you. You might just live to see another day, but maybe not. I don't know. I'm surprised that this isn't like taught every single day. Like, hey, hello, officer. If they tell you to do something, please. Because this movie, I'm like, how could they not be at wit's end? I mean, like, this movie, again, whether, how many of these things were taken. My favorite is when they talk about on cops. They're like, we try to get a wide range of so many different people, but like when the majority of our crimes are being committed, in like one neighborhood, they're like, we don't want to paint that neighborhood as a bad place or whatever. So they're like, we try to pull them. So they're like pulling stories to try to just balance it out. It's like, it's so tragic. Like, pulling someone over for a ticket, and then it's like, oh, they're shooting a gun at me now. Like, why not just take the ticket and live to see another day? It's insane. It's so crazy.
Yeah, and that crazy, the one with the guy with the who shoots at Michael Peña, and then he has like the AK-47. Like, he pulled him over and
gold
like,
AK-47.
Yeah, and all he tells him is he's like, hey, you have that thing hanging from your rearview mirror, and he tries to shoot him. It's like, holy shiz. That dude had no intention of like talking to the cops at all. He's like, you're gonna die.
Well, with all the stuff that he had in his car, I'm sure he didn't want to go to prison that long,
Yeah, he figured it was the time to get ahead. And they were suspicious of him too, the nice truck and everything, which is really weird because, again, they're talking about profiling. It's like, right, but again, given this guy, his, known occupation, the plates are clean, but this guy's driving this really nice truck while he's living in this really rundown town. It's like, what's going on here? Turns out his, what was it? That was a bowl of soup or whatever. Yeah. Had some chili in it, but also, oh, look at what we have here. Some freaking drugs, stashed away in a mama soup. And la sopa. So it's crazy. I just don't envy him. And so I have a lot of respect. And Alex, our sister, how dare you even think that you were going to be a cop someday? What's wrong with you? Watch this movie. And you know what? If you want to defund the police, just watch End of Watch and then be like, yeah, maybe that's not such a good idea. So definitely check it out. This movie's heart-wrenching, though. And it was even harder on rewatch because now I'm a parent. Can't see children suffering. It's too much. So let's get into two of your favorite things from this movie, Cameron.
So I think my first favorite thing about it is I just love how they kind of addressed all the sides of being a cop without having, because like they obviously know like what we want to see as a movie viewer is like the entertainment of like kind of the action and the crazy stuff. But I like how he addresses like other cops. Like most cops' lives aren't like this, and he talked about how like most cops don't even like they go their entire service without pulling their gun or without shooting anyone. And he's like, and we're just in like the ghettos of the ghetto, and so that's why we have to deal with this like on a daily basis. And then also like Jake Gyllenhaal's scene where he's just explaining how important paperwork is, because like we don't want to see all that paperwork. It's like that's like half of Brooklyn Nine-Nine, but it's like used as comedic, like, and so that's what I thought was really good is they addressed kind of all the sides of the police work, but still showed us like the craziest parts.
Hot Fuzz still did some pretty cool paperwork though. Those cutscenes they used in Hot Fuzz to Edgar Wright, dude. Double clicking the pens. Yeah. I'm just saying. He made paperwork look pretty cool, subverting our expectations.
Yeah, funny. And then I think my second favorite thing is I just loved the backstory and their lives. Their just relationship is so natural. It feels real. Like, and I think that's the best part about it. And that's why I love how majority of it was, and that's why, what's his name? David Ayer, he worked small budget on this one. He only had about $8 million on this one, whereas other projects that he worked on, like Suicide Squad, like $250 million, and like lots, like millions and millions on other projects. So this one he went a lot smaller. That way he could do more improv and change it to the script and change the things. That's why like a lot of the scenes with Michael Peña and Jake Gyllenhaal in the car, majority of them are improvised by the two. And I think that just their banter, that's why it feels so natural too. Just the fact that it's improvised. Because there was like one scene, especially when I saw Jake Gyllenhaal laugh. I can't remember exactly the quote that it was something that Michael Peña said, and then it was like the same scene where he was like, I want to punch you or I want to kill you. You know, it was like messing with each other. That I just thought it was so good, and just see their relationship just like cultivate and develop, and I just thought it was like so beautiful.
It's great. Jordan, how about you? Two of your favorite things?
Cameron already kind of touched on it. The relationship between Jake and Peña is so good. Honestly, it just made me realize like how important it is to like a character, because then the weight of their death at the end just is so much more heavy, and you just like really care for them. And I know you mentioned that he's a dad, so you should care. Or no, I guess you were leaning more into the fact that those parents didn't, had their kids in the back taped. But
yeah, that's what hurt. But no,
okay.
Yeah, them being parents too. I mean, yeah, it's just when you become a parent, you just you're like hypersensitive to this, and maybe not all people are. Like there are definitely movies where I'm like, oh, you're trying to make me care, but I don't. But most cases, it's not hard to do it.
I just thought you were trying to get at the fact that, like for example, there's a lot of movies that it's like, oh, he has a kid, therefore you should care for him, and that's not what they were doing at all. It's like they already had built up the fact that he was, the relationship between him and Peña and this girl, and right. Their marriage, and you were kind of immersed into their lives and how they were living, and you felt for them. So that's why the weight was so strong. Not necessarily just because it's like, oh, he's a dad, he has kids.
Yeah, he cares about the kid. Yeah, because and again, you could always show the one scene where the father does care about the kid. Mad Max, looking at you, didn't believe that you really cared about your son until we saw how you got mad. You got Mel. So Mel Gibson, you're missing a scene.
I mean, but his relationship with him and his wife was really solid, though.
It was, but. Yeah, F the kid.
Whatever. Couldn't
care about the kid. Those little shoes.
He didn't really have...
Save my baby!
He was at an age where he couldn't do anything. Anyways.
He could play with a toy gun. No, excuse me. He could play with a real gun, like a toy. They didn't even care about that kid. And
so knowing the ending, too, I was surprised like how much I still loved it, because I knew their fate was to come, and yet I still was like... I almost like the ones where they do die, because you're like, it's coming, and you're just wondering what decisions could they have made, so this wouldn't happen. There's so many times when he's running, I'm like, oh my gosh, what if he just ran down a different alley, or what if they just, maybe they just didn't chase that guy, or like, what could they have done? Why couldn't the cops have shown up in time?
I love it when he right after he shoots that guy in the car, like in the head. I love that moment where he just says like they're everywhere, because then it just leaves that ominous feeling of like you're not getting out of this. Like that's kind of the moment when I watched it the first time. I'm like they're not both getting out of this alive, and they both kind of look at each other like they don't want us to like survive this.
Well, and if not that day, it may be later,
because and that's what the scariest part. is when they try to warn him, and he says like, he's like,
Yeah,
like, when
I'm
the guy's
throwing you a bone
trying to be
here.
well, he's like, I'm trying to be your homie. He's like, because you kept it real with me, and he's like, there's a thing up for your head. They want you dead. And he's like, we're cops, man. Everybody wants us dead. But it's like, you don't understand. Like, the cartel has it out for you.
Well, and that undercover, was he DEA or something? Like, he was like warning them too. He's like, I'm throwing you a bone here. Like,
lay low.
yeah, you've just essentially tugged at the dragon's tail, and essentially goes in my second favorite part, just the world of the cartel. Like, I love Narcos. I love these shows about like just that, getting into that world, because it's like, it's so crazy. It's almost unbelievable. And I watching it, you're like, there's no way this is going on. And it is. And it's so scary. And so that's why, I guess, that's why it's even more terrifying, is because it's like, this is actually going on somewhere in the world right now. And it's bleeding into the US, and it's scary. So
For sure. Yeah, I was pleasantly surprised at how much I liked the rewatch, because I kind of didn't really want to rewatch this movie. It was such a hard first watch. But even now,
because
it's like...
Ty's like, I watched it edited, but now that I'm going to watch it unedited, that would be great.
Yeah. No, it really was just like, I remember being so sad, being like, well, I thought one of them would make it out. Like, after the first time I watched it, I was like, why would anyone torture themselves and watch this movie a second time? Like, what kind of sad, depraved person rewatches this movie? Like, I guess if you need to let out a good cry, I mean, this is a good movie for it. It's just a hard watch.
Oh, yeah,
So
when he's at that
rewatching
podium and says, all he can say is, he was my brother, and then he gets down. It's so sad.
Well, yeah, and even when they're like, when he's holding Jake Gyllenhaal and he's dying in his arms, he's just like, this is really heavy on the pod, everybody listening. Try to keep it light here, but he's just like, hey, it's okay to cry, man. It's like really sad moment, but it's like, I'm here, I'm not going to leave you, and it's okay to cry right now. So anyway, now I've said the saddest part of the movie. I just, so yeah, the emotional weight it carries, and then I think the documentary film style with the, not necessarily found footage, but like third party ride along, almost like they use the body cams, they use like GoPro, they use dash cam.
Yeah, because there was very few scenes where it was like third person.
Camera. Yeah.
Well, and even if it was, they still kind of kept it like very shaky, kind of
handheld.
Yeah.
It felt very like someone is just there watching it all unfold.
And I was surprised, because usually shaky cams, I hate them and they make me feel like nauseous, and I feel like I can't follow what's happening. But they did a like really smooth job, I feel like, for majority of the film.
Yeah.
They smoothly did it shaky.
They did a smooth, shaky job. Very, very well done.
Well, that's what
Well done,
that's why I
everybody.
think the shaky cam also helps into, like, because I feel like that's the hard thing too, is anytime I'm watching like a cop show or usually like an action flick, I'm always like, oh my gosh, he's right around the corner, and like it makes it feel like so cheesy when they don't kill him or whatever. When they do, I'm like, oh, obviously I could see it, but like, well, that's what I kind of liked with the shaky cam, especially when they're getting like shot at, because it kind of puts you in the mood. And same with like the fire, because I'm like, because then your senses are kind of like muffled and you can't really see very well, and I'm like, they can't see very well, like there's smoke in their lungs, like, oh, just crazy things like that I just think are like really well portrayed through the shaky cam. That's what I thought like helped it.
Would you say it's really realistic, Cameron?
Well, I feel like because of their experiences with what they saw with cops, I think it gave them a great appreciation. I watched a couple interviews with Michael Peña and Jake Gyllenhaal, and they just said that Jake Gyllenhaal said that what he gained for the cops was beyond respect. Because he's just like, what they go through day in and day out is so many things that he's like, I can't even begin to comprehend, like the emotional toll and stuff like that it weighs on them.
I'm surprised Michael Peña hasn't been made into a superhero yet. He is so freaking charismatic and funny.
Hilarious.
Well, the problem is he's an Ant-Man. That's the problem. He's an Ant-Man, dude. So he's already Ant-Man's best friend. He's already in that canon.
Yeah, well, what's the Captain Falcon guy, Captain America's friend?
Yeah, but Jordan, he's
Well,
black.
yeah, but he was Falcon. He's black. Hey, Michael Peña's Mexican. You got to be able to use that.
where's the
It's probably
Mexican
not as
superhero?
far
Spider-
down the totem pole as...
He should just choke out Ant-Man and just take his spot.
I would, yeah,
No,
just
Paul
do two
Rudd's
Ant-Man.
awesome,
Like, you
though.
already have the Wasp, yeah, or whatever, Ant-Man the Wasp. Just do Ant-Man and Peña.
Well, and they did 2 Iron Men, right? They did Iron Man and then Iron Man's partner.
Everyone has an Iron Man suit on. I get what you're saying. Like, Michael Peña should don the Ant-Man suit. After Paul Rudd signs out, Peña takes up the mantle. Why not? Who wouldn't watch
It'd be really
that?
funny as it's closing in on him, it gets stuck on his tummy. He's like, oh, I can't fit in it.
That would be awesome.
Dude, he's like, It does. Can we all agree that we all just love Peña?
Yeah.
We all
Dude,
love
no,
Paul
I,
Rudd?
I
Like,
saw this.
my
I saw
goodness.
this video, and it was so genius. It was like, you know what? Because the Marvel universe is so diverse and so like big, what they should do is they should have like a mini series where Michael Peña just explains each like movie of the Marvel universe in 5 minutes, just doing his storytelling. So then there was like this guy, and he said like, no way, and he was like, oh my gosh, I'm gonna die, and he like, exploded, and then that, like, if he did it like that, like he tells stories in Ant-Man, I feel like it would be just so like such a fun way to like recap everything that's going on in the Marvel universe too.
Oh, that would be great, yeah. To catch
Instead
people
of
up
having
if they
to
don't want
watch-
to start watch
Yeah.
a
Yeah,
billion
if you don't
movies
want to watch 8 hours
and
of
shows.
WandaVision. He's just like, so there's this girl, and she's like making everybody do whatever she wants, and just his style of telling stories. And honestly, see, that's the one thing I will say to you guys about before we get into Nitpicks about. I want to kind of counteract about the fact that you guys said it was bleak. Obviously, it is like bleak, but I think it ends optimistically because it shows their relationship, and I kind of feel like it was showing that like even though he's dead, like their relationship, like it's not dead, and like all that joy and those memories will still last with Jake forever. And I kind of feel like that's the whole point it's trying to show, is that like that the most important part of, I feel like, life is the relationships, because that's what it didn't show anything except for them. And I love it how supposedly meaningless, air quotes, like the conversation they have is just like, oh dude, there was this one time, the first time I was like trying to get like, and then her parents walked in, and then I was like laying under the bed, and just like that story and how they're just laughing and just having a good time together, I feel like just shows how real and true the relationship was, and how important like relationships are, especially like in life.
And how true his love was for Jake.
Yeah, his love saved Jake in the end. That's why he miraculously survived this whole ordeal.
Oh, he lived?
Yeah, Jake Gyllenhaal lived.
Did you not watch this
Did you
movie?
not watch the movie?
Maybe he turned off after he got shot, and he's like, "Oh, what a sad
Yeah,
movie."
Jordan. He
And
speaks,
it doesn't make it. He
he
turned it
speaks
off
at his funeral, Jordan. That's what he said. He says he's like. That's why I was a little confused. And you're like, I can't believe anyone would want to rewatch.
Wait, so
this
is it
when
because
they both
Peña
died.
fell on top of him and the machine gun bullets were not going through him?
Yeah, because
survived.
he had the blue bulletproof vest on.
I don't know, but they shot him like 15,000 times.
Well, no, Peña died. Jake Gyllenhaal gets shot once.
Yeah, and then
Yeah, but Peña, isn't he right on top of him?
No,
when
he
they-
stood-
he's
he stood-
kneeling,
and
and,
he-
he's getting shot through, and then he falls over, and they shoot him one more time. So
I could have swore they were just unloading on him, but
they unloaded on Peña.
Well, they did unload on him when he was on his knees and he tried to reach for his gun.
okay. Well,
Yeah, Peña got unloaded.
I thought it ended.
It
So
literally looks like Lord of the War watching Jared Leto get shot up. The saddest movie death of all time. Watching Jared Leto dramatically flail his arms through the air, dramatically dying. Jared Leto, greatest actor of all time,
oh,
everybody.
jeez.
Lord of War, watch
Jordan,
that
did you
scene.
not
Did you watch
finish
that Morbius trailer? Oh.
Did you not finish?
So great, dude.
Did you not finish it, Jordan? After that?
So, well, no, I had it playing in the background, and then after they died, I wasn't really like paying attention.
He's like, movie's up. Okay, time's up.
I can't believe Jake
Turned
Gyllenhaal
off the
died.
movie.
Well, because they were
Yeah,
playing
movie
clips,
died.
and then I'm like, oh, this is before.
It was. Do you understand what happens
Oh
in
my
this movie, Jordan?
It's like, and then I watched 24 seasons of Cops, and I'm like, wait a second, when does Jake Gyllenhaal come back? He doesn't come back. He was clearly shot and murdered. Yeah, he miraculously survives, Jordan. But it's okay. It's easy to miss plot holes like that, or plot points like that, you know?
Dude, but just saying, if you were one of those criminals to get attacked by Jake Gyllenhaal during this like era of, I mean, the 50 times he went out with the police officers, Cameron? Is that what you said? 50 days?
Yeah.
It's like it's an honor.
No, it was 5 months. It was
Can I
5
get your
months.
autograph?
But yeah, he went like
Yeah, he's
50
got
days.
his knee on your neck. You're like, oh, man.
Can you sign my neck?
I think it would be
Oh,
pretty
man.
sweet
Yeah, that would be
to
pretty
be arrested
sweet.
by Jake Gyllenhaal. What a story that would be.
Well, Jake Gyllenhaal wouldn't make the arrest.
Here's a
but-
picture of me and Jake Gyllenhaal. After 3 minutes after we took this, he put me in a squad car and drove me to the station. Why is that so funny? Like,
I'm like, you're like
what
trying to take a
bittersweet
selfie as you're running
moment.
from him. Getting tased.
live stream. I'm being chased by Jake
Yeah.
Gyllenhaal.
The
my
one
gosh,
the one
that
thing I
is
will
so
say
funny.
for my nitpick is I didn't like, it's not like, I just don't know if like how much I believe that the bad guys would be recording them committing crimes. I know they kind of did it to give that vibe, but I feel like he could have just gotten away with it, like kind of doing the shaky cam.
Cameron, that's what I thought too, but there's a documentary called Cartland. Anyways, and it's about the cartel, and the people just wear a mask over their face and literally are like making drugs and doing stuff. And the guy's making a documentary.
What the fuck?
I guess if you ever didn't believe this, Cameron, just watch Tiger King season 1. Dude. If you don't believe that in Middle America, there's an entire body of people that don't know the laws for one.
They probably
and
literally
two,
just had to play the
video
footage.
evidence of that. Yes,
And then they're like,
it's incriminating. Just watch it. A guy literally watches an employee get their arm torn off by a tiger, and his first reaction is, I am never going to economically or financially recover from this. That's his reaction.
I never
to
got
an
that far
employee
in.
that got
Is that
her
what
arm
happens?
torn off.
I'm gonna have to find that
He has an
episode.
employee.
it's like
This is the
episode
first
3.
season. He has an employee that tears. He has an employee that gets his arm torn off. She has her arm ripped from her body,
It was
and
a
he
guy, I
goes into
thought.
his office, and they're filming it. I think it's a girl. I have no idea.
I thought it was like a
No
Mexican
idea
or a black
what gender
guy.
it is.
Just call him a they.
Yeah. This human being had an arm torn from their limb.
The person
and
came
then,
back to work for him too. I was like, what the fuck?
Yes, and still was willing to interview. And anyway, he whatever has an arm missing, and then while in the interview, the cameras are rolling. This Tiger King is sitting there, and he's like, "I am never going to financially recover from this." That's his reaction to his employee having their arm ripped off. It's insane. It's his real reaction. I'm never going to financially recover.
I guess it is kind of like The Gentleman, where when the guys take down one of Mick's like weed plants, and then they record it and they make a music video out of it.
That's right.
Why not, dude? Yeah, it's incredible. It's incredible. I mean, Hunter Biden, bless his heart, he's got a lot of weird stuff on laptops and video cams. So the people aren't this stupid is my point. And yes, people do film themselves. So to your credit, you're right. It seems strange. You're like, would they really do this? Turns out some people do.
People are just
it's not
stupid.
Smart. Some people are just stupid.
I guess
but,
those are the same people that maybe would commit crimes.
Yes.
No, but that's the other thing I think is the saddest.
Or shoot a cop.
I think that's the other thing
Shoot
that's
at a
just the
cop.
saddest thing is kind of like you guys mentioned earlier. It's just like that sad part of just like, it's just one of those sad parts of life. So if there's like the cards you're dealt of just like, kind of like we were talking about, just those 2 kids that like got duct taped and like locked in their closet. Just the fact that they have to grow up in a situation like that is just, it's just so dark and just so sad that like that's something they have to overcome and like fight to just not give in and just become part of the system.
Right. Yeah. You give them all the schooling, education, government programs, handouts, everything, money. It's not going to fix that situation when you got those terrible parents, just abysmal parents there to parent their kid. I mean, the kid could learn all he wanted to at the end of the day, but he goes home and his father hits him in the back of the head. He's not going to learn anything. He's not going to. It's just so devastating.
It just shows how bad and how terrible like drugs can just ruin your life and like the lives of your loved ones. Because it just makes you not yourself and just act not like yourself either.
There was this other Breaking Bad documentary that I really liked. Shows how bad drugs are, Cameron. It's really good. The effects of drugs and how it negatively impacts everyone around. Walter White. Anyway, guys, any nitpicks you guys want to throw out here? Not too many. Just, it's a pretty exciting day in the life of the cop. Holy crap. Crime after crime.
Crime after crime.
Nice, Jordan. Very nice.
I will say when they run into that room and they're getting shot at by those AKs and the only thing that gets hit is Jake Gyllenhaal's hand, I was like, I'm not sure about that. I'm like, I think you might get hit more than just your hand by like 6 people unloading AKs unless they were all blind people.
Ty, you were doing the sigh and it totally sounded like Nacho Libre. You're like, the life of the cop, eh?
Life of the cop.
Pretty dang exciting, huh?
Pretty dang exciting, huh?
Get away,
Okay, go away. Arrest them children. Yeah, I gotta say I don't have too many nitpicks for this movie. I just argue that I don't know how 2 cops can handle it. I feel like at the end of the day, it's like you have to be transferred in and out of there pretty quick. I don't know how you go through that every day, not knowing if you're gonna return home to your loved ones. Sounds pretty miserable. Oy, 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 oy. How do you solve that? How do you fix that? I don't think it is fixable. It's too bad. Too much crime going on.
Dude, and that scene when the girl's face gets beaten and after Hopper gets a knife in his eyebrow, I was like, oh my gosh, this is way too real. Her face looked way too, it made me sick.
Yeah, abuse, victimization, drugs.
Oh, and see, that's the part that you hate is because like you just like, it's kind of like you're talking about like the psychos on the internet, but it's like that inner part of just like you want to beat the crap out of that big Hefe, as they called him. Like, that dude was just, like, stabs Hopper in the eye with a knife, and then and he's like, my God, they got my freaking good eye. And then, and then beating the crap out of that rookie. It's just so sad. And then the moment that they show up with shotguns, he's like, I'm not resisting. And you're just like, oh, you're such a freaking pig, dude.
You're such a pig. Hey, whoa, careful. You're referring to the cops, Cameron? We don't refer to cops as pigs on this show.
And, like, that he would, like, just beat the crap out of that girl and then use it to his benefit. Like, oh yeah, I'm stopping. I'm not resisting. Just like, ugh, you deserve jail for the rest of your life.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy. It's a hard situation. A rock in a hard place, I think they call it.
It's the second best.
Would not want to be a cop. Wouldn't want to be a criminal.
It's the second best Jake Gyllenhaal movie where he's responding to cop codes. Nightcrawler being the first.
Oh, really? Police scanners? Yeah, because I was thinking, what about Searching? Is that, or not Searching? What's the movie
Source
where
Code.
he's in the...
Source Code?
No! The one where he's in the call center. What's that one called?
The Guilty.
Searching, right?
The Guilty.
The Guilty. Yeah.
That one's really good too.
There's another one. Yeah, The Guilty. There you go. It's Source Code.
Well, no,
You mean the one where he takes over someone's life like they do in Wonder Woman 1984? Holy shiz. It's like, Rock, I wish that I had my boyfriend back. And it's like, okay, I'll let him take over somebody else's life. Like, you're a terrible Rock. You're a terrible Wish Rock. You're the real villain of the story, okay? Source Code, you're the real villain of the story. The technology to inhabit someone's life and go on living their life. Where does the other person go? Where do they go?
well, no, isn't it in the past?
They get sent to hell.
I'm pretty sure it's in the past.
What, Source Code?
Yeah, isn't it?
I honestly cannot tell you for the life of me anything about that movie except Jake Gyllenhaal is a brain and liver and a heart in a tube or something. Like in a
Almost like Avatar.
yeah, like in a sack or something. They're like keeping him alive, and it's like somehow through you we can time travel. What? Someone's got to explain that movie to me. Write in us an email, guys, if you're listening to this.
Time travel movie with Jake Gyllenhaal behind Prince of Persia.
Donnie Darko?
Or Donnie Darko.
Jake Gyllenhaal has like a thing about time travel, doesn't he? He's probably like in his contract. He's like, I have to do a time travel movie every other movie. You know?
No, it either has to be dark and depressing or a time travel movie, or both.
Or I just have to be, you know. So anyway, Brokeback Mountain reference. What'd you watch lately, Kim?
Well, just real quick, I just wanted to say also that the lead character.
Oh, would you recommend this movie? I forgot. Yeah, would you recommend End of Watch? Sorry, real quick. Would you recommend End of Watch? I'm going to say pass.
If language isn't a problem, and
Watch Training Day, and then it's not as crummy as End of Watch. This is like way too gritty for me, so I don't recommend it.
Yeah,
But it's a good movie.
I do recommend this if you want to know or have like a feel.
or if you're considering being a cop, maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you're considering committing crime, watch this movie, and if you're considering being a cop, watch this movie. And then I think you'll be better off. The world will be a better place.
And I just love the quotes
So-
just real quick of like when he says marriage is forever, it's a promise before God. And then he's like, my grandma asked me like, can you live without her? If yes, man up and move on. Don't string her along. And the preparation took 6 months and filming of this movie only took 22 days. Crazy.
That is pretty wild. That is in and out.
And apparently the lead characters in this movie were loosely based off of real LAPD officers Charles Wonder and Jamie McBride. They were partners in the Newton Division in the late 90s, so mad respect to those two.
Attaboy. So, folks, fellas.
Well, it's
Prince,
crazy
what have
that
you been watching?
the only thing I've noticed really quick is that they were all kind of like, like, oh, why are you filming everything? But now, because of everything going on, I think they require everybody to be filming everything so they can use that as evidence to prove that they weren't.
Well, if you're a cop, don't walk around without filming yourself unless you wanna, I don't know. Yeah.
They
Film
want
yourself.
evidence.
Every interaction with it, yeah, because you better be able to clear your name because
Everybody else has their own phones and they start
Yeah.
recording after the fact of what they did. It's like they commit a crime, all of a sudden they'll start the record button. Hey, I'm not doing anything. Just beating the crap out of them after they, broke a bunch of laws.
Yeah. Police brutality.
Hit the record button after they just did
I
all
only
this
find it
stuff.
funny because I'm quoting Shrek 2. Man, they were ahead of their time. Eddie Murphy. Attaboy. Anyway, guys, Cameron, what have you been watching lately?
Watched a lot over Christmas break, so I'll just kind of breeze through it real quick. I watched Deadpool 2, Jackie Brown, The Grand Budapest Hotel. I went and saw.
You're not gonna even say, give your rating or say why you liked it or didn't like
Cameron,
it.
Jeez, Cameron.
Just so we know
You're
you're not just reading a list of just random
reading a
movies.
list of movies that I've watched.
Okay. Well, you're always like, yeah, it's taking too much time, Cameron.
Well, I just want evidence that you watched them. You know.
Yeah, Cameron's just like, here's a list of movies of important, prestigious movies that
I thought
everyone should watch.
I thought Deadpool. I gave Deadpool 2 a 7 out of 10. I gave Deadpool the first.
Did you like
one,
it more than the first?
No, the first one I gave an 8 out of 10. I thought it was.
I laughed more in the second. I don't know why.
I
thought the second
love
was so
Josh
much funnier.
Brolin and Ryan Reynolds kind of banter.
Yes.
But I don't know. I just kind of felt
That
it was
sold
a
it for
little
me.
bit of copy and paste, kind of like Guardians of the Galaxy, but still very good,
Yeah.
very fun, super entertaining.
But funnier. But it was funnier than the first.
No, first one's better.
I don't know.
I didn't laugh on the first as much as the
I
second.
laughed a lot in the first one.
Maybe if I saw the first one again.
And then Jackie Brown I thought was really good. Very mild for a Quentin movie. Holy shiz. Super plot based, which I was like, okay. Like, I mean, he always has amazing plots, but I was just surprised that people weren't getting blown away left and right. I did love fucking Robert De Niro just blowing away that annoying ass frick chick. That was so funny.
Poor girl, yeah. Oh my gosh.
If you say that one more time, I'm gonna punch you. Or he's like, I'm gonna hurt you. And then she just fucking says it and she shoots her. I was like, oh my gosh.
Yeah, De Niro, man.
And then
I will not hesitate. I will not hesitate.
And then wrong movie. The Grand Budapest Hotel. I thought was the first half. The first half was.
I know it's the heat. We reviewed on the pod. Okay.
The
yeah.
first half was super
Wrong movie.
slow, but it was super fun seeing. What's his name? Is it Ralph Fiennes?
Ralph Fiennes.
Fiennes, yeah.
Fiennes.
Voldemort. Like, it was super fun seeing him in that role. I think he did an amazing job. Second half was really good. I know you guys think it's kind of overrated, but I thought it was really well done. Second
Ty
half.
thinks it's overrated. I like it.
Performances are great. Like, I won't knock it for that. I just think the movie overall, it's like, if you're aesthetically pleasing to look at, but I don't care about anything, yeah, like you said it's boring. I found it pointless almost. I'm like, great shots. Again, I'll watch Fantastic Mr. Fox 18 more times before I see Grand Budapest Hotel again.
I don't think it's his best film, but I still think it's really good.
And then
It's got good start.
I went and watched.
Can't knock it for any of those
I went
things.
and watched half of The Matrix Resurrections with Jordan in theaters, and Jordan wanted to walk out because it was essentially the first movie copied and pasted, at least for the first half.
Yeah, and
That
they
was kinda
used
But
so
at
many
least
clips from the
they
first one.
referenced it. Yeah,
they
at
did
least
cite
said
their
that
sources.
They were doing it.
They definitely would not get plagiarized.
Their sources. They cited their sources. I love it. That's hilarious.
And then I watched a really fun movie. One of my favorite Ryan Gosling performances, Murder by Numbers, with Sandra Bullock and Ben Chaplin and Michael Pitt. Man, that was really freaking fun about these two kids that commit a...
I haven't heard of that one.
They're two gifted high school
Murder by
students that they try to
Numbers.
create the perfect murder. And Sandra Bullock's the detective. Really fun. And Ryan Gosling his performance is insane. Oh my gosh. He does this lick at the end that is the most beautiful thing. It's the creepiest shiz I've ever seen. Just to put it into perspective, he's strangling Sandra Bullock and like about to kill her, and then he licks her face. It's so creepy. It's the creepiest thing I've ever seen.
Have you seen this, Jordan?
Oh, I was the one who showed him it.
I'll have to see this.
And
movie
Nick
now.
was the one who
I love
showed
it.
me.
Yeah, it seems like a Nick movie. Murder by Numbers.
Because Nick is the perfect person to find B movies.
I gave it an 8 out of 10. Super fun
Yeah.
B movie.
We should call them popcorn movies. Cause like dumb entertainment, like Unhinged. It's an A grade popcorn flick.
Jordan, you know who the super smart kid reminded me of? He kind of reminded me of Robbie from Cobra Kai.
Oh, yeah. Which, speaking of Cobra Kai, have you guys watched the
I
new
saw the
season
new
yet?
trailer. The season's out.
I've watched first. Yeah, it's out on Netflix. I
Awesome.
watched the first episode. I love it.
Okay.
I love it. I think it's a perfect TV show. I really do. I think
I haven't
everyone
watched
should
it yet.
watch
I heard
Cobra
it's
Kai.
very... Tyler said it's very soap opera-y, this new season.
I mean, well, when has it not been?
That's
Go
what I
back
was
and watch-
thinking. I'm like,
he
it's always
has
been-
has a nostalgia. Watch the first, second, third season. All of them.
He said he's just bummed because they spend more time with the kids, and that's his least favorite
Right.
part, and less time with the adults.
What is he like the karate the most? Because the karate is like my least favorite part. Like it's fun to watch.
cheesy as
Very
shit,
fun to watch.
yeah.
It's but that's my point. Like
Johnny
fighting
Lawrence is
it's
the
like
best part of the fucking
yeah,
show.
he literally is. He is the heart of the show, and every time I watch him win a little bit, it's like watching Better Call Saul. Like
Yeah.
it trapped in like a more campy '80s. Well, it's not even '80s, but like came from '80s nostalgia. This retelling of a story, post.
What's the internet?
Which is again this idea that what is the internet? I'll never forget that. That is so funny that he just ceased to exist. I don't know why we don't do this with more properties. I'm just saying this is how you do a reboot. It's so funny or revitalize something from the '80s.
Yeah. And then
Kung Fury was any indication that people were starved for this. I don't know what is.
and then
people just love that stuff.
The last
I do.
one I watched. Oh, I watched a little bit of Interstellar last night. It's so fucking good, just because my roommates were watching it. And then watched Spider-Man: No Way From Home. I think I need.
No Way Home, No Way From Home.
Oh yeah, sorry, No Way Home. I think I need to give it a rewatch. So I have mixed emotions. I went into the theater very mad because of an interaction with my sister, because Alex was judging me how I drive in the snow, and so I just went into the movie theater really pissed. And then I've been watching lots of pitch meetings lately, and so I just all I saw was all the plot holes, and I was just like, oh, this is not that good. But as soon as Andrew Garfield and what's his name, Tobey Maguire came in, loved it. I loved their chemistry and kind of their brotherhood. There was just a few things that I kind of thought was like a little cheesy, of like why Doctor Strange would just like totally screw up, like, and not like pause to just be like asking like, who do you want to not know?
Yeah, Cameron, that's my one I mentioned. Like, he literally chastises Peter Parker for not talking to the administration again, and he's like, doesn't even bother to talk to Peter about casting the spell. He's like, okay, I'll do it. Like, no hesitancy.
Yeah. That's the whole
crazy
reason, like, that the plot in the movie even happens, and so that was the weird thing. That was kind of the one thing that kind of bothered me. And then my biggest pet peeve, honestly, was the fact that like Aunt May was all like, you need to cure them. I'm like, Doc Ock, yes. Harry Osborn, yes, because both of them, like, it takes over them. But I'm like, the rest of the people, it's not about curing. It's like, oh no, now Lizard Man is just a murderer who's not a lizard. Like, what the fuck? Like,
no, he wasn't a murderer that wasn't a lizard, right?
Well, he
became a creature.
He wanted to turn everyone else into lizards, and it wouldn't even been for a long time because he had to keep injecting himself with serum. So it makes sense.
Well, he only wanted to turn everyone into lizards after he was partially lizard, right?
Yeah.
Cameron, I agree. Actually, you know what? I think it's an allegory about mental illness. I think it's about caring for elders. I know that's weird, but that's literally what this movie is about, and I like it. I love hearing your criticism because I totally agree. Like, Doctor Strange, I didn't get, like, when you bring magic into the mix, it's always just, like, laughable. Like, I literally laughed out loud at the very end when he's like, I can't hold him off. He's, like, shaking. I'm like, what is...
very plot
my biceps. Like, what muscle is being exerted when he's swinging a ring around? Like,
also, I didn't like how...
He's like, I can't hold him. What do you mean you can't hold him? Do you have magic or not, you idiot?
Well, the dumbest thing is that Doctor Strange had to go through all of this, like, training and shiz to become, like, the Sorcerer Supreme, and then Ned can just go, like, oh, it's in my family. What the fuck is that bullshit?
I actually like that more. See, it's like, I really think magic is that easy. It's stupid to me, and that's why I love when he's like, my grandma says I have it. Like, I have this tingling in my hands. Like, you should see your physician or consult your physician.
Yeah.
You have diabetes, fat kid. But I just thought it was so funny that it's like, okay, so he does the magic, right? And everyone has issue with that. I'm like, I don't take issue with that. I really don't. Like, I don't care. Like, in the end, I'm like, I still think it's so funny that Doctor Strange is like, he was like totally fine with this. And it's like, does he not understand the consequences? Because he mentions this party and he erased everyone's memory.
Yeah.
And now it's like, okay, the whole fate of the universe stands in the balance. And it's like, was he ever aware of this possibility? Because he didn't mention it to Peter.
Yeah.
He didn't seem to care. He just starts the spell and then he's like, oh, it can't bother me when I'm in the middle of a spell. It's like, why didn't you fetch and start the spell when you didn't talk to him over?
Yeah.
You didn't even talk to college admissions first. Like, it's just so funny. He did the same thing that he blamed Peter for doing.
Yeah.
You're dumb. You're supposed to be Iron Man. You're supposed to be smart. You're just a dumb magic man.
And then the other thing that I thought was really cheesy was like right after like Tom Holland, because they're all Peter Parker, right after Tom Holland like goes to kill Harry Osborn, like Green Goblin, like Tobey Maguire catches it, and then Peter's like still pushing down. Tom Holland's like about to kill Tobey Maguire, and I was like, what the fuck? And then right after, like,
I wanted him to grow as a person. Yes, I wanted him to do it for his own, but it's like, no, literally, Tobey Maguire had to come in and stop him from murdering freaking Green Goblin, you know?
And Green Goblin just fetching just mercs.
Stabs him. And then that's supposed to be a really emotional weight, because then Peter would have suffered from the moment where he allowed Peter, but then he like gets up and he's like, I'm in great pain, and I'm like, it's a joke. Like,
I know,
he was stabbed. I'm like,
it should have been
cheapened the moment.
It should have been like, yeah,
he died.
You're the reason
he should have died.
Yeah, you're the reason
Tobey
that
Maguire
he
should have died. I would have hated it, but he should have died.
Yeah. And so that, it was just...
They killed Aunt May. I literally laughed out loud in the theater when Aunt May and Peter got up after the bomb exploded. I literally laughed out loud, and I was like, like, she's getting up from being hit with the glider and being blown up by a bomb, and she's like, let's get out of here.
Yeah,
what
literally killed Green Goblin. His own speeder running into him, and I'm like, and she's just like, oh, it hurts my side. What the? You should have died on contact.
Yeah. Thankfully, she did die. But it's sad
Hallelujah.
that she died, of course.
She's
But
hot.
Hallelujah. She died. She got what was coming to her, that stupid bee.
I like that Green Goblin realized he looked scarier without his mask, so he broke it.
He broke it. He's like, I could inspire more fear. Dude, Willem Dafoe is such a gift.
Does
I
that mean
love
he's
him.
Hobgoblin, Cameron? Because he's just wearing a hood? Or is
Yeah.
that not that?
I think
okay,
so.
some other nerd I work with is like, no, that doesn't mean he's Hobgoblin. He's still Green
no,
Goblin.
Yeah,
I'm like,
Cameron,
what?
you don't know what you're talking about. Hey,
I
no,
thought he was
because
Hobgoblin.
Electro, he wasn't nerdy with buck teeth and weird hair, but he's just a cool dude.
Because electricity straightens your teeth and it closes the gap in between.
He's like, he got this whole new lifestyle, and he's like, yeah, man, I feel cool. I'm like, you are cool, Jamie Foxx. I don't know why they ever tried to make you a nerd in the original one, but I will say the heart of this movie comes down to Andrew Garfield. He was a gift in this movie because he, in his monologue...
I still say Tobey Maguire is my favorite.
No, he's the nostalgia good Boy Scout, but Andrew Garfield had like the crushing weight when he said like, I stopped pulling my punches. I literally nearly teared up in that delivery when he was talking about like how he couldn't save Gwen, and he's like, I'm trying to be positive and upbeat about it. Like, it literally is Andrew Garfield talking about how the franchise let him down, like the bad direction and story writing, the story's derailed. He was like, I've heard it said he's one of the best actors to play Spider-Man, but those Spider-Man movies weren't that good. And I'm like, brilliant observation, as demonstrated in this movie. Like, I'll be honest, Tom Holland is growing on me only now after 3 movies. Like, I should have been like thrilled for him. I like the whole movies and the fun.
It's funny.
visuals.
It's the reverse with me. I like him
Yeah.
less and less every movie.
Tom Holland?
Yeah.
No, I only like him now because they literally cut him down to size. They turned him into Tobey Maguire Spider-Man. He now has no family, no relationship, a crappy apartment, no funds, no MIT, no scholarship, no Tony Stark technology. They literally reset Spider-Man. They literally set him up to be the Spider-Man that we all grew up with. So I'm like, it literally was a reset. Like, this whole thing ended and it culminated in a reset button. It literally did. And it was like, no one's going to know who I am now. Aunt May is gone. Like, he has nobody. Like, absolutely no one. And I'm like, that's the Spider-Man we grew up with. Spider-Man 2, go watch it. No one cares about Peter except his aunt. And even his aunt can't afford to give him $20 on his birthday. Like, he's got no resources. And Tom Holland has everything gifted to him. Spoon-fed, silver spoon in his mouth his whole life. Everything given to him by Tony Stark. And now it's like a fresh start. And I love it. I think that's the way it should go.
Yeah.
I didn't really know what I felt about Venom at the end. Tom Hardy, what did you think about that, Cam?
I don't know. Because then he like vanished.
The voice wasn't the same. It was so weird. Well, so Cameron, he was sent there because when the multi-universes split. I don't know how they didn't observe him. I guess because he wasn't a villain. But he was sent there when this whole fragmentation happened. And he was like, oh, you mean to tell me that there was an alien that killed off half the planet? And he goes, yeah, don't joke about that. My family was all blipped. And he's like, oh, okay, whatever. And then all of a sudden he's like, oh, I'm going. And then he disappeared without paying his tab. But then part of Venom's symbiote like stayed there. So they're teasing like Venom's going to be the new villain. It's going to infect some host and then become a Venom here in this universe.
That's the thing that didn't make any sense. Because I'm like, that's not how the alien symbiote transfers. It's like every.
Yeah, it does, doesn't it? It latches onto a host.
No,
and
yeah,
then
yeah.
it takes
But
over.
when you get blipped, it doesn't just like how did it transfer with him?
Part
but not
of it
transfer...
stayed behind. No, I'm sure most of Venom went back with Tom
That's
Hardy.
so bad.
But like the little portion that didn't, I'm like, how did Venom plan that? Did he split apart?
And-
did he want to be
and
part of
see-
this universe? Like, did it get cut off when he turned? Like, see, I have so many questions now too. I do. I really do. I'm like, was there part of Green Goblin? Was there part of did a part of everyone that get left behind?
Yeah, moral of the story, the best two people in this show was, the movie was William Dafoe and Andrew Garfield, man. Holy shit.
Yes. Yeah, I totally agree.
William Dafoe is the creepiest. It was so funny. I saw this meme where it was like, it's like how William Dafoe orders at restaurants, and he's like, I'll have the linguine tortellini. He's like the creepiest smile ever.
Oh, dude, he was great.
He's so great.
Absolutely
He's
great. And
such a
Cameron,
nice
to your
person,
credit, I really like what you were saying about like, okay, it was really upsetting because it's like, oh, he needs to fix all these people. My wife literally turned to me in the theater and was like, he's supposed to help fix all these people, like they all committed crimes, they all want to be
Yeah.
murderers, like you have to lock them up, like helping them. But I really like
You can't let him die.
can't let him die.
like,
I
why
actually
not?
really liked that element of it, though,
Really?
because in the end, the consequences of the other movies. See, what's really good about this is Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield, they both said, like, it was a really good moment because I actually thought about it. I'm like, are they the villains? But no, in the end, it was like, we're trying to, Tobey Maguire's like, I had an opportunity to kill my uncle, but it didn't bring me peace. They both, and then Andrew Garfield mentioned, losing Gwen, and like, he's like, I really start pulling my punches. Like, they both had that moment. And then Tom Holland is supposed to grow in this moment, and he doesn't. He takes the glider, and he's like, die, Green Goblin. He doesn't learn. And Tobey Maguire steps in and is like, hey, don't do that. And I'm like, someone told me, like, oh, he needed to be there because Tobey Maguire had someone. I'm like, Tobey Maguire didn't have anybody. The guy that killed his uncle fell out the window because he like tripped on his shoelace or a lead pipe or something. So technically Spider-Man didn't kill him, but he was literally in the moment to kill him. So he didn't have anyone stop him there. But, after the fact, he learned his lesson, and he told Tom Holland about this. And then Andrew Garfield, he said he stopped pulling his punches. So he's like brutalizing victims and criminals. So that's pretty dark. Like, it's really sad. And he confesses to that to them. And then Tom Holland literally takes the glider and he's like, die, Green Goblin. And then Tobey Maguire has to stop him. I'm like, where's the character growth here? And I guess the only character growth we have is when he decides to leave his friend and his girlfriend out of it, doesn't bring him back into his life and try to reintroduce himself because he's like, they're happier now. They can get in at MIT. They don't need me anymore. I guess that's his character learning moment. I just was like confused by that because I'm like, nothing that he said in the movie would suggest that he was like, I'm just going to leave my friend and my girlfriend behind now. And we never saw the impact of the fame affecting his girlfriend or his friend. Never did. I loved how they showed Tom Holland. It showed walking through the school, all the people with their cell phones on him. That was well done. But you only see his friend like get up on the roof and he's like, oh, it's so crazy down there. I can come up here for peace. I'm like, we didn't see that. So I know he said it, but like, and I know the movie's already like really long, but you needed like 3 more minutes. Just show both the friend and her being affected by this. Like, you hear her, she's talking on the phone with him at that Skype conversation. Like, that's good to see the relationship, but I still need to see how it's affecting her. Like, she mentioned, my dad's gonna kill you. And that was like one line, but I'm like, how is it affecting your life? It never showed that, right? And so Peter walking out on them at the end kind of feels hollow because I'm like, is he just doing this for selfish reasons? Because in the first one, when Tobey Maguire left Mary Jane, you hated it because you're like, Peter, I want you to be happy. Just be selfish for once and date the girl. Yeah. Like, Mary Jane might be endangered, but like, you deserve some happiness, And this one, he's like, yeah, I'm bouncing. Peace, I'm out. I'm like, what? I almost think it's selfish. She made him promise, and he's like, I will find you. I will. And then he's just like, whatever. Thanks for the coffee. Bye. It's like, okay. Obviously, they're going to fix it in the future, or, he'll find her naturally and organically.
Well, the one thing me and Jordan kind of talked about is I just thought, I don't know, it's hard for me because, like, I thought it was funny, a lot of the jokes they made about trying to be what do you call it?
Self-aware. Yeah, meta, self-aware.
But, like, I'm like, you're not allowed to say those jokes. Only we can, as the viewers, is when they're, like, making fun of, like, Amazing Spider-Man and stuff like that. And I'm like, don't try to act like you're making it, like...
Well, and they do it all the time in Rick and Morty. I mean, that's just, like, the day and age we live in. It's like, you want to get ahead of the trolls, so you'll say the obvious thing out loud. They do it every once in a while. But I do agree. Like, there's a point where it's like, okay, you can't just say the meta thing and then not address it, or be like, yeah, there's a problem. Like, there's a glaring plot hole. It's like, oh, there's a funny plot hole in this movie. And it's like, okay, like, it doesn't make it better. It doesn't put a Band-Aid over it. Like, it's still a problem. Like, see if you can get around it or make it work to your benefit. But they sometimes they don't. Like, I don't know. Some of the things I thought were dumb, like my back pain. I don't know. Like, does Peter Parker still have back pain from the time he jumped from the balcony? And in the movie 2, when he falls and he nearly breaks his back or whatever? It's just kind of weird. It's like, oh, pop my back. He's like, oh, that's amazing. Like, I was just like, ugh.
Yeah, I'm excited to watch it for the second time and just kind of take it for what it is. Is more of like, it's honestly I feel like a big fan service movie where it's like, thank you for sticking with us and like being a fan of Spider-Man. Here's like the best parts of Spider-Man.
Yeah, I agree with that sentiment. However, I will just say I was pleasantly surprised at the fact that there were still characters in this movie that had weight. Like, it wasn't like, oh, you had to see the other movies. They still explained everything in this movie again. It's like, villain, good person, has issues, needs help. But what was so great is, like, this Green Goblin character, he ended up directly impacting Tom Holland's character, Spider-Man, not just like, oh, the weight of him and Tobey Maguire's history. It's like, no. He now has new history because he literally killed his Aunt May. Does that make sense? Like,
I did love that reveal.
There was emotional weight with the characters in this movie.
Reveal of when, like, he gets his Spidey sense and then he, like, tries to, like, he webs him because he's, like, about to, like, try to stab him or whatever. And he's like, he just wants us. And he starts doing that evil, creepy William Dafoe look. I'm like, holy shiz. Dude, I was telling Jordan this after the Lighthouse. I watched the interview with him. And he is the nicest person I've ever seen.
He's the nicest person.
Creepiest mofo. Just you look at his face and I'm like, you're a villain. I know you're a nice human being ever, but you're a villain. Yes. Like, you're so scary. He just has
Cameron, he played as Jesus Christ in the Martin Scorsese film?
No way. Is it the Passion?
The Last Temptation of Christ? Yeah. Not Passion. It's not a very good movie, I would argue. But
And what's called, see, someone pointed out, they're like, how has he never played Joker? Honestly, I'm like, with that smile, bro, how has he never played Joker? That's crazy.
haven't they considered him? I would love to see William Dafoe's Joker. Like a top runners up for next Joker, I'd say William Dafoe. I'd love to see Idris Elba be Joker. I don't know why. I just love to see him as Joker. Like, it'd be so good, dude. Like, just a stoic, cool man. Like, they never do that. Like, they tried to do Jared Leto as the cool man, but he was so cringeworthy. Like,
I think Idris Elba has one of the dopest voices ever, dude.
Does. I would love an intimidating, stoic Joker.
That was the best part of Jungle Book, dude. Of Shere Khan. Like, his voice, I was like, holy shiz.
Yeah. It's great. So I just argue, like, someone stoic, cool, like Denzel Washington or someone like that. Like, I just totally new face, totally different vibe, because I don't think you can get crazier than Joaquin and Heath Ledger. I don't think you can. Like, I really don't. But I'm sure they could surprise me in a few years. Joker will take on a new meaning. It'll be your identity. It'll be like this crazy person that just,
identity thief.
mental illness, So yeah, identity thief. But anyway, anything else you've seen, Jordan? What have you been watching?
Yes, I finished the Chucky TV series, and there's some...
What'd you think?
There's some parts I really like, and there's some parts that are so bad. Oh boy, so bad. There's Chucky literally stabs somebody in the theater underneath a seat, and he dies by being stabbed in the butt, which makes no sense, especially because it's like not that big of a knife. So how did it even reach to him?
You could bleed out. I mean, I don't know why you wouldn't get up from your seat.
Yeah, bleed out, but the guy just dies instantly, and he doesn't even scream or anything. Like, there's a bunch of deaths in here.
Dies instantly from this butt
Or,
stabbing.
one guy dies in a crowded hospital, dies, and nobody notices him, and he never screams. Like, Chucky's just stabbing him, repeatedly. And maybe the guy was in so much shock he couldn't scream. But, I don't know, there's some great deaths. One of the deaths reminded me of Death Note, the remake, when the girl's falling off the Ferris wheel. Yeah, there's a scene where the girl's falling out the window, and it's slow-mo, and it's hilarious because it looks so cheesy as fudge. I love it. Because there's got a lot of camp to it, and that I appreciate. And I like how he's manipulating kids and making them do his bidding. And there's good stuff like that, but then there's a lot of just really dumb stuff too.
Yeah. And I believe it.
And then
new Batman trailer spoils a lot, but it's so dope.
It does, but I couldn't help but watch it. I had to watch it.
I know, the Cat and the Bat.
You did? I haven't seen it yet.
Don't watch it. Don't watch it. It spoils too much.
A lot, but oh, dude. I love the route. They're going the route that Gotham, the TV series, went, of showing the corrupt parents of Bruce's parents, showing that Bruce's parents, they got their wealth in a dirty city.
Watching Joaquin Phoenix being decked in the face by Thomas Wayne wasn't enough, Cameron? That was pretty corrupt, right? He just punches him in the face.
Stay away from my kid, okay?
Stay away from my kid.
Oh, there is 2 films I'm really excited about, Ty, that I just bought. One of them is directed by Jim Cummings. It's one of his very first films.
Jim Cummings. Is that Tim Cummings or whatever? Wait, that's that's Thunder Road guy, right? Yeah. That movie, like I said, I do want to see it.
No, I'm talking about an earlier film he did.
No. I'm just saying there's a new movie that by Tim Cummings.
Yeah, I already watched Beta Twist twice. I'm going to watch it again for the 3rd time because I love it.
Beta Twist twice?
Beta Twist twice. I watched it.
Beta Test.
That's the one that's like Enemy. Yes, it is like Enemy. I just watched it. There are 2 scenes you'd have to skip if you decided to watch it. But holy crap, I love it so much. YMS says it's the least best of his 3 films that he watched. But I just looked and there's...
Werewolf was so good, dude. Werewolf...
Snow Hollow.
Wolf of Snow Hollow.
I think Thunder Road's his best film. No. And then I'd say... Actually, but I might like Beta Test more. Because I just like... It's my kind of film. I like movies like Enemy. It's kind of like...
Beta Test is... not Beta Test. Thunder Road's so depressing.
Yeah, and I like Thunder Road as, a character. I think his character is more fleshed out. But, that being said, there's more to do it in Wolf of Snow Hollow. It's more chaotic, and that's why I like it more. There's more characters, there's more complexity to it, and I think it's harder to pull off a werewolf movie ultimately, but it's really good.
So, and then I just bought The Myth, The American Sleepover, which is directed by the same guy that made It Follows and Under the Silver Lake. It's his first film. I'm very excited to watch it. And then I'm also excited to see Minutes, which is Jim Cummings' first short films, where he has a bunch of short films and he made it into one film. So I am so excited to watch those 2 films because I love those directors. I'm also excited to watch Amour, which was directed by the same guy that did Funny Games, and Cachet, which are both really good films, and I recommend.
Right on. Well, I've been more the camp side. I watched Hawkeye. I don't know if you guys have watched the series Hawkeye.
Oh no, is it worth it?
It's I was interested, or what I found interesting was I found myself saying oh, that's from that scene in Home Alone where they did that thing, and that's like Jingle All the Way, and that's like that. I'm like, oh, like, and that's like Elf. I'm like, I think that they intentionally took things from like Christmas movies that people liked, and they just kind of put it in the show, like for no reason. Like, there's literally a ziplining scene, and then like a character gets stuck on a zipline. I'm like, that's Home Alone. Like, I was surprised at how much it had to do with Christmas. It's literally like, let's get Hawkman home to Christmas to his family, but first he has to like destroy a mafia first. It's weird. Like, it's weird, but like, again, it's totally fine. I really like Haley Steinfeld or whatever her name is. She was in Bumblebee. She was also in True Grit. She was great in True Grit. And I was like, this actress is going places. I think she's like a musician now.
Book of Boba Fett, is that?
That's one thing I haven't started watching. I don't know if I will or not. I feel like no motivation. I haven't heard anything about it, but
yeah.
He's just, you want to talk about the most overhyped person. Again, he looks cool as an action figure, but if that's all you need as a character, like, go for it. Go watch that. Like, Mandalorian was great. I just don't know why I would watch another Mandalorian spinoff. It's like, oh my gosh, guys, how far down this rabbit hole can we go? This TV show is about that one lady with the 2 white lightsabers, and like, here's the story about that.
Ahsoka.
They'll just keep doing it. But I was excited to see Kenobi. I saw that Hayden Christensen and Ewan McGregor are coming back, and I'm like, I'll watch the shiz out of that.
Even one of the Safdie brothers is going to be in it? Are you kidding me?
I was like, I'll watch the shiz out of that. They make a dark, brooding, sad about their relationship falling apart, because it's still Anakin. It's still like, I want to see those interactions where he's like, come back, Darth, like, it's not too late, and he's like, Padme's gone, like, I'm too far gone, there's no redemption for me, and he's like, no, there is. Like, I can't wait for that, and he has to protect Luke as a baby.
Ewan McGregor, the best.
I know, Ewan McGregor, the greatest Star Wars actor that's ever existed.
Ever.
Like, and then Hayden Christensen, low-key trying his hardest. And I'm just so glad that he's back. I love Hayden Christensen. I know he's not a good actor, but I love him.
He's good in his other movies, like
Shattered Glass. The only other.
No, and he was in that one where he was in a coma, and his girlfriend like takes advantage of him.
Yeah, Sleep or Awake. I think it's called. It's called Sleep. It put me to sleep, dude.
I thought it was
just
fun.
like the other movie called what was the other one? Don't Sleep, or what was the one? The alien one with Daniel Craig and Nicole Kidman. What was that one called? The Invasion.
Invasion. You're like, it was that Invasion movie? The Invasion?
Yeah, but the Invasion. But it was the one that put you to sleep. It was like, you have to stay awake, but she like keeps falling asleep. I'm like,
that's Invasion.
It's a meta movie.
It's the same thing as
struggling to stay awake.
Well, it's a remake of the Invasion of the Body Snatchers.
It is, but it was so bad. So bad.
I enjoyed it.
No, because we went back and watched Invasion of the Body Snatchers. Way better.
Oh, it is.
Freaking freaking Donald Sutherland, way better. Is that the same? Yeah, that's Invasion. Well, that's actually even a remake of an earlier black and white film.
What? Donald Sutherland? You said Donald. You said Donald Glover. Donald Sutherland.
I said Donald
Glover
Sutherland.
Is Childish Gambino.
I know who Donald Glover is. I know. Who
well,
Donald
then why
Glover
did you say it, weirdo?
I said Donald Sutherland. I accidentally started saying Donald Duck.
Donald Duck?
What did I say? I almost said Keither. Donald Duck. You know what? When I go back to the podcast, I'll realize how stupid I am. Anyway, I'm excited to go see.
Paul Dano, is he in the new Batman or is he in the new Zodiac?
He's in Zodiac. I swear he was the victim at the end that identified the Zodiac watch wearing guy. I swear that was him. Anyway, it doesn't matter.
He's the guy tying White House down, or did you see he was in what's the one? What's that video game one where you die in the
Stay Alive?
Stay Alive. He's in Stay Alive.
Yeah, or he's one of the Boyle brothers, right?
Oh yeah.
yeah. I know the actor, and I don't normally confuse him with Paul Dano. I just remember in my memory it was Paul Dano as the victim, but it wasn't. So, lastly, I just wanted to throw out, I'm really looking forward to seeing, obviously, the Batman. I'm looking forward to seeing The Sunny in Philadelphia. I'm looking forward to finishing Cobra Kai season 4. So I've got a lot of great shows, and again, Hawkeye. Like I said, it was perfectly fine entertainment. You know, Disney-fied Christmas
I still
movie.
haven't watched. The last thing I saw from
episodes.
Marvel is, besides the Spider-Man, was Loki, the first episode, and I haven't watched any of that, any of the Hawkeye, or I haven't watched Black Widow.
Yeah, Loki and that Winter Falcon thing.
Yeah, that shit.
Yeah,
is
I watched
done.
Falcon and the Winter Soldier.
So garbage.
I loved and hated every other episode.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, and then
dope action,
Hawkeye loved and hated every other episode.
Stupid. Dope action. Politics, stupid. Dope action. Let's go.
No, yeah, you can't forget, dude. You need to do better, Senator.
But don't forget,
That's my favorite
terrorists are people. What?
Terrorists are people, and they have wants and needs, dude. And you have to do better, Senator.
Ty, they've been doing that in all their movies,
The guy tried to kill me. What are you talking about, Falcon? What's wrong with you? The guy tried to kill me. I have to do better. I didn't try to kill him. With your policies, though, Senator, you almost had him killed. Because of policy.
Disney's doing that with all their villains, though. And the new Home Alone, they spent all the time with the villains, and they were the good people. and they do that in this.
It's because everyone's
Spider-Man.
terrified to label anyone as a villain these days that they don't kill off in the end. Like, they love doing this. They'll introduce a character, but it's not related to any one person or race. It's just this amalgamation of a person, this villainous. That's why, like, every single creature, they're too afraid. Like, concept artists, they don't make them exciting and cool looking because it's like someone might point it to something that someone will
This
be
creature
offended by.
looks
So now it
Asian.
looks Asian.
Tell you, like the guys from what was the Star Wars, the first episode where the
We have to yeah, the freaking two bugs. They had like an Asian voice. Those guys, they're like those two Asian guys that are like corrupt, villainous. The
prequels.
They're like, oh, they're Asian and they're dressing like Asian. I'm like, what the fudge are you talking about? Just because it was voiced by an Asian actor didn't mean like I thought that the alien. They're like, oh, the eyes look alien. It's like, do you think the eyes look Asian? They're like giant goose egg eyeballs, like hardly Asian slits that you're stereotypically going to use to offend an Asian. What do I know? Like, anyway, I love it. I love it. It's so funny. Come at me, bro. Every single villain is just going to be this Morpheus blob, you know, but not fat because it'll be brave and beautiful. But it'll be a Morpheus blob that just has no identity, no personality to it. Oh my gosh. So everyone's just offended.
And also to everyone that's going to go see Morpheus, instead of watching Morpheus, go to watch The Batman, the cartoon version released, I believe, in 2008. They have an episode on Man-Bat. It's that entire movie made into one better.
Oh, is that the one where Joker, like, is licking up blood in that donation
No,
bank?
that's the Dracula episode that I rented from Blockbuster, and Mom walked in at that part.
Mom figured out she did not like that.
I'm like, oh,
and me
it's
and Cameron
Dracula.
were watching, we're like, hey, I was entertained, and I'm like freaking teenager at this time. I'm like, this is a cool cartoon. Freaking dark as shit.
Yeah, and then they go to the blood bank, and then Joker's just...
Yeah, he's literally like, it starts raining blood because he rips through all these donor bags, and it starts raining blood on him, and he just sticks out his tongue and is catching it. You're like, oh my gosh.
And Mom
like,
walked in at that moment, of course. She's like,
Yes. What is this? I was like, it's Batman. it's technically just Batman, Mom.
Mom just hates anything Joker.
Yeah, she can't stand him. Can't stand him.
I think she would really like the 2019 Joker, though.
When he's kicking the shiz out of the trash bag. Yeah, dude, that would be her movie, dude. I leave it to you guys in a few years to be like, Mom, watch Joker with me. Watch it edited.
That would have been
so
that would have been Jordan taking care of Mom if Jordan never met Tatiana.
I feel so bad. Like, Dad's gonna die someday. Jordan's gonna like move in to take care of Mom, and I'll be like, "Oh, we're gonna watch these movies." She's like, "Oh, I don't know if I want to watch this." It's like, "Sit down, shut up, Mom. Watch this part. It's so cool." Whoa! Do you see that? Boom! We got blown away. Oh, Bob, we care about you too much. Don't let Jordan be your caregiver. We won't let that happen, all right? So, everybody, futromovies@gmail.com. Check us out. Leave us an email. Leave us a 5-star review. Give us a comment. And keep commenting, guys. If you love the videos. If you're like, wait a second. This is
hidden gem.
Oh, you guys are talking about The Matrix? End of watch. Like, oh my gosh, a mainstream Jake Gyllenhaal movie. It's like, come on, dude. I don't even know if this was mainstream. Yeah.
I don't think I've met anyone that's watched. I've never
End
met
of Watch?
anyone that's watched End of Watch.
my old roommate.
Yeah. I mean, yeah.
Yeah, my
it's like, I
roommates,
don't know how many people are still talking about it, though. Like, does this movie really challenge me or make me question anything? I don't know. Like, it just, like, makes me think, would I ever be a cop? And then I'm like, no. Finally, like, just no. So, like, not really much more to think about anyway. But anyway, except their relationship. So, check out all their other movies. You can check us out on YouTube, all of our backlog. We're going to be having fewer episodes on our podcast, but just go back and check out our catalog on Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube. All of our episodes in the past that we have recorded are there. So, everybody, this has been Futuro Hidden Movie Gems signing out. Peace.
Bye.